We're now going to get started with the photo retouching. We're going to work on some photos from the previous stream. And I think that will give us a little collection of photos that we can work through. Maybe create some kind of, I don't know, I guess editorial or set. Yeah, set's a good word. I also bought some cool something called a makeup panel from the retouching lab, so we're gonna see how that works, if it helps speed up anything by using some of their tools or presets. All right, so this is what we're gonna be, well, this is the photo we added in the last stream. I think we're gonna start with this photo, and then if we have time, we'll work into the other photo. Obviously, right now I've been averaging about 2 hours per photo, and I want to get a little bit faster with that, so hopefully I can. That way we're not spending so much time on one photo. I know it can get boring sometimes, so we're gonna try and go a little bit faster and see if we can't still come out with a good quality result. Obviously, I haven't edited that much since COVID hit, so I'm quite a bit rusty, but we're gonna do the best we can and we will go from there. I just need to reorganize some windows. Give me 1 second. I have 3 freaking monitors and I just don't have enough space. I want to make sure I have enough room for my chat and everything else I need. There we go. All right. So first things first. So you can see my toolbar, let's slide my camera over. And we'll get cracking. Now, question about my lighting. If I do, oops, that. Ooh, no, not that. Don't rotate. Go back. Yeah, lighting's still good even after I made that slight adjustment to my light. It was just a little too much in my eyes. I'm gonna get it lifted a little bit so it's not so in my eyes. I just haven't had a chance to do that yet. But it is on the to-do list. Alright, so let's get started here. We'll start with our general exposures. It looks, oh yeah, I applied some general stuff from all of them. So it does look like we have some stuff to work through on here. So this is more or less the original image. If we reset it, this is the original image. And then to get them all kind of looking the same, we added, we took away some contrast and we changed the curve on this, it looks like. Probably a little bit of the tint and the Kelvin as well, the white balance. And then I added some other base adjustments, you know, just enhancing things. And then we did a little bit of cleaning in the eye, which we may need to do a little more of that, but if we do, we can do it in Photoshop. And then I did a red adjustment on her skin. And we are gonna back that off just a little bit. Now, one thing I do want to do that I was having issues with is the red inside of the brick. This is coming off as very yellow, very gross. So I want to see if I can fix that in here while we have all of the color information to work with. So we're going to add a new layer. And we'll call this pillar. Yeah. And then let's see. Let's go ahead and let's do the whole pillar first. Flow at max. Okay. Oh, I don't have my mask turned on. So what we're gonna do here. Oops, too close. Is draw along the edge of the pillar. Because what's good about Capture One is I can create a rough selection here around the edge, and then we can click to fill it in. And this does not have to be perfect by any means. So we'll go around her hair a little bit. We do need to be a little careful around the hair because there are going to be, if we affect the reds, it could affect her blonde hair. So we just want to be a little careful. We don't have to be careful around her shirt or jacket because that thing's freaking blue and there is absolutely zero red in that. And we'll do the sill or the bottom part of the pillar here separately, because it's not going to hold. Now this may not work. What we may have to do is after we fill this in, remove the mask and just paint it in the white areas. But we're going to see if we can handle this whole area all at once and just see what it gives us. All right, so then we're going to come here to our color tools, our advanced color editor, and I am editor, and I'm going to select those lines. And then I'm going to choose view selected color range. So now it should show us on the entire image what's being selected. So the reason we did the mask originally is so, as you can see, we are picking up her skin, which we don't want. And we're also picking up parts of the background, stuff which we would not want. But now, because we painted that mask, we're only going to be affecting what's inside the mask. Okay. So what we are going to do here is make sure everything in the mask is being selected. And as you can see, we can even not select the bricks. So let's do that. Let's leave the bricks alone as much as we can. And then now we're just selected on this area. And the way we know that is because it's still in color. All right, let's turn that off. And then let's just kill the saturation. Bring the saturation. Actually, let's see. If we change the hue a little bit on it. That's not bad. And then we'll drop the saturation a bit. So what we're doing in essence is just cleaning up. It's just an old pillar. You know, we may not want to pull all of it out. I mean, I want to leave some of it in. Let's see. Still think we're getting too much of the brick in there. And like I said, we may have to paint this in. That'll be a little tedious, but to clean up the image, it may be worth it. Let's see, if we do a huge color shift. Nah. Let that, and then let's darken it a bit. It doesn't need to be so bright. Add just a pinch of that back in. Alright, how much of the brick are we affecting? And then let's delete these other colors that we selected because we don't need to be affecting those for any reason, really. Alright, so I think we're... I think we're good there. We're cleaning that up. Maybe a pinch back in. And let's see, because we can undo. If we paint down here, oh yeah. And we're gonna be a little careful because there's some color there. Okay. Okay. So I think that's going to be pretty good. And it looks like it filled it in. It's not 100% harsh. And it just gave us a little difference. And then we're going to come in here, reapply some of the red adjustment on this layer, just to even it out a little bit more. Okay. I think that's all I really saw from the other photo. Was the pillar was causing some contrasty, weird colory issues that I just didn't like, and it was making it difficult towards the end of the edit. All right, let's take this. Actually, no, there's one other thing I want to do. I want to create a virtual clone copy. And I'm blanking clone variant. There we go. And then we are going to, or do I want to clone the original? I can't. You know what? We'll do it both ways and we'll see which one I like better. All right. So this is our clone variant. Did it not do the clone original like I wanted it to? Oh, yep. I have to, no. New variant. One, two. Is it putting it off screen? Is that what's happening? No. Okay, Capture One. What are we doing that I am not aware of? New variant. Ah. Oh, Capture One. Why you do this to me? Alright, so basically what's happening is when I create a new variant, it's creating the variant without my star rating. So it's throwing it into the none category. So now I have like 5 of these virtual images running around. So let's you and you can be removed. Clear. Delete variants. And you are gonna get, what am I doing? 2 star? 2 star? So now if I go into the 2 stars, oh, 1 star. Oh, let's go to the 2 star. Let's go back and make it 1 star. Go back into 1 star. I love the program, but sometimes it's a little finicky. And then red. This way I can match it. I'm gonna have to remember that. From now on, I'll just do clone variants and then just reset everything. It'll save me a bunch of time. So what I want to do is see. So in this step, what I like to do is bring the shadows all the way up, bring the highlights all the way down. And we're going to use this as kind of like a texture mappy thing. So we'll bring some of the darks down, some of the highlights up, or the whites up, I'm sorry, blacks and whites. And then we'll pump up some clarity for some texture. And I really do love the clarity in Capture One. I really, really do. All right, and then we'll see this one, the clone variant. And we'll call this layer Weird Stuff. And then we'll fill it, fill mask, and then shadow all the way up, highlights all the way down, whites up a bit, blacks down a bit, clarity up. Okay. Now based on these two, I'm getting more texture from this one. So I think what we'll do is we'll just remove a couple of things like the red adjustment and our base adjustments, just to remove some of the contrast. And I'm actually liking that a lot more for the layer that we're going to use it for. So we'll go ahead and delete this. And I just wanted to see. All right. So we're going to take both of these, export into Photoshop. Blah, 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 blah. Yes. All right. So let's take our weird layer over here. That worked. That's been hit or miss for like the past couple of weeks, that drag and drop thing, and it's been driving me nuts. All right, so we'll take two of them. This top one we'll throw into soft light. Excuse me. Ooh, excuse me. All right, so we'll turn off the bottom one. We'll lower it and slowly bring it up and see if it does anything. Kind of liking that. And we'll do the same thing here. And it's just something so subtle. So before and after, we're just adding it back in some of those details. That's all we're doing. And then we'll knock this whole thing down maybe. About right there. Oh, 97%. Might as well be on. About right there is good. 77%. So good. All right, and now we'll start our cleanup. I think let's do our background cleanup first. Just something different. So we're just gonna clean up our background. Remove things that can be distractions. So I don't remember what those what this whiteness is. It very well could be space through the trees, but it's distracting. There's no reason to have it there. So we can easily take it out, and then we'll kind of smooth out there. That's a pillar. And that's probably going to get removed when we crop the image in, so I'm just going to leave it for now, as I don't see there's a reason for it to be there. We'll clean up some of this stuff here. And the good news is there's a lot of bokeh in here, so it you don't have to be perfect with it, because no one will ever know. Because of how soft the image is to begin with. And it sounds like it is raining something fierce outside right now. I saw reports of hail in the downtown area, so thank God I'm not on the downtown area, because hail is a no-no. Very dangerous. Hail is very dangerous. All right. So now let's come over here and we'll clean up these bricks a little bit. Now I do plan on creating some video tutorials on my channel, on my YouTube channel, for, you know, going over all the basics of what I'm doing to make it a little easier. I just have to find time to sit down and actually record them. I was thinking about trying to record stuff on stream, but that stuff can get rather boring, and it's really something that needs to be edited to make sure I get everything in there that you could need. Because it's definitely one of those things that if I miss something, it could have you scratching your head going, oh, that's not right. Or how did you get that result from that by just doing this? So I'm gonna make sure to get those right, and it's gonna take a while for me to get it done, get it planned out, but those definitely are in the works. And then That way you can kind of find all the resources you need for everything I'm doing in one spot. So you'll know more or less the techniques I'm using. They're not anything crazy. It's nothing I've invented. I may use them slightly differently than some other people, but this way you'll have one place to go to view them if you wish. So right now we're just, cleaning up the background. Nothing else to really go over about this. I'm just using the clone stamp tool right now to clean up the brick. It is a bit weathered, which I like, but the parts of it I don't like, I'm cleaning because they could be a distraction to the overall image. And the last thing we want is some broken piece of the brick taking away from our subject just because it's pulling your eye away. So we'll just, oops, don't clean that up. And the good news is I shot with a fairly shallow depth of field here, so a lot of stuff is slightly out of focus or even very out of focus. Makes this part of the process so much easier. Now what happened here, why there is a discoloration, is because I did a coloring in Capture One to clean up these brick lines because I didn't like how they were looking. The result of that was I didn't want to get into her hair. So I knew in Photoshop I can fix that. And so that's what I'm doing now. I'm also getting rid of some stray hairs that I don't want. Okay. Let me know if the music's too loud or not loud enough. I'll be more than happy to crank it up or lower it so you can hear me better. We are going to just clean all this up. And again, right now I'm just using the clone stamp tool. I did not see a reason to, I don't see a reason to use another tool. Plus some of the other tools cause some unneeded or unwanted effects. So like the healing brush tool would try and blend everything together and you would get some weird soft edges and stuff like that that just doesn't look good. And then what we will do is we'll pull some of her hair down to kind of fill in this gap there. And then we'll come here and clean in here. What is my hardness? 0. It should be a little bit higher than that. I don't ever like working with a 0 hardness when I'm doing this kind of stuff. It sometimes will leave weird edges. Obviously, because we're working in an area that's soft already, it's not a huge deal. But I usually work around 50% with the clone stamp, just to prevent some of that potential for artifacting. And then we're just gonna clean her hair up over this brick just by cleaning the brick. And I'm noticing I need a much better desk because this actually is moving on me. That's okay. All that will come in time. I just have to figure out space and stuff. But for right now, what I have will work. Yeah, I think I just need a heavier one. Nothing crazy. Alright, and then let's take this. Yeah, I think that's okay. Alright, I think the brick is pretty well cleaned up. Let's see here, before and after. Before and after, before and after. Let's go ahead and do a quick save. Just in case, because of the storm. I don't want there to even be a slight chance that I lose power and I lose my file. I really shouldn't be drinking soda. but it's so good. All right. All right, so now let's see here. We're gonna clean up her hair up here. I'm debating whether I want to keep that bench there because it's just not. Let's see. Let's see if I can remove it fairly easily. Actually, you know what? Let's try something. Just keep you just in case. Let's create a mass unit. Let's do a selection. Edit content aware fill. Oh, so close. All right, so let's remove her hair. And let's remove. So what I'm doing is I'm removing areas from the selection that it's going to use to fill in the area. Now, rotation low. A little better. And scale. No, scale didn't do anything. Let's see, if it wasn't pulling it up like that, it'd be almost perfect. I'm wondering if that'll make a good starting point though. So let's just hit okay. The good news is it's on its own layer, so it really doesn't matter whether it works or not. So then we can come in here. So you know what? Let's take this layer and nope, that's not gonna work. So let's just go to the bench remove layer like I originally planned. And let's see. What we can get. We'll create a little bit of the grass look. And then we'll pull in here. Just creating that soft edge. And then we'll pull in. Now this is where I will lower the hardness, and that's only because we really need this feathered. So we're gonna pull color from over there over here. And we're gonna create the walkway that we know is there. And then we'll take this. And again, I'm using my pressure to control the size. So I have a little bit more control over what I'm doing. Okay. And then I need to clean up right there. So what we will use here is the healing brush to just blend that edge in. And we'll go in some circles. Make sure I'm on current and below, otherwise this would not be working. And all this for just a little portrait. Is it worth it? Eh, who knows. Alright, we'll go back to our clone stamp. Actually, I did want to do that. Back to about 50%. And I just want to clean up there. And I am operating on about a 20% flow, which is good. All right. And I think we'll clean up right there too. Let's pull you there. Line that up. Just run it a little bit cleaner. and blend it a little bit in. Just make things a little bit cleaner if we can. It does help a little bit. Like if we really wanted to get in here, we could come in here and just clean all this up. Let's blend this a little bit more. Okay. So let's show from the beginning. So this is where we started. This is where we're at now. So as you can see, we are just cleaning everything up. Look how cleaner that looks. Now look how messy that looks. Cleaner, messy, cleaner, messy, cleaner, messy. I should not include that layer. So, I mean, it's just that background cleanup just makes a world of difference in where your eye is going to go in this image. And that's what we're trying to do here, is direct the eye onto the thing that matters within this image, and that's her. Right? Right. And it's not because I say it is. Well, it partly is. Alright, let's see here. My camera's really tall. Oop, sorry, my bad. I was just messing with something. Yeah, we'll leave it alone for now. I think I can boost this just a little bit more light, a little less light. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine, I shouldn't be playing with things. Okay. So, let's now start on the skin cleanup. We'll call this background. We'll save a new layer. And this will be, we'll call it skin cleanup. Now obviously I can do some of this in frequency separation. But what I want to do first is get rid of some of the bigger issues, so that I'm taking care of both textural and color issues at the same time. Whereas in frequency separation, you have to take care of both independent of each other. For the bigger blemishes, this works a lot better. Or they both work well. It's just personal preference. So for this, I'm using my healing brush. Or you can use the patch tool if you want. Either or works great. Some days I do like using the patch tool. Some days I think it works better. In this instance, we are just using the healing brush. And I'm just looking for the really big distractions. Blemishes, bumps, that kind of thing. Things that I know won't be there in a couple of weeks. That's really the key. Unless you're doing some kind of avant-garde piece or some type of really interesting composite, I try and keep my subjects with as much of their I don't want to say imperfections, because imperfections is not the right word, but keeping them looking as real as possible. Alright, so let's go and switch to our spot healing. Take care of some of these stray hairs. Some of these, this is gonna be ooh. The hair contrast between the hair and the background is wonderful. It's just getting rid of those things. Look at that. Oh, that's so clean. So clean. All right. Let's see what we have going on over here. And we may have to paint the background over this area to clean this up, but we'll see. And before I forget, we'll go ahead and move my camera. My layers palette is going to start getting fairly busy. Yeah, I'm seeing some blurring now. So let's just move on to the areas that we can. And something else I like to do, once I remove something, I try not to stare at it. And then I'll come back to that area a little bit later and see if I can find where I cloned something out. Because like right now I'll know where that area is. But I come back to it later and I can't find it. Most likely no one else is going to find it either. Especially since no one is really looking at photos this close. Alright, so let's go through. We'll clean this bottom part up in just a second. Let's just do it. Do. I'm just cleaning up. Ooh, no, bad. I really need to set some different hotkeys up. I've just never been... And the funny thing is, I swear by hotkeys for everything, and I do not have quick, easy hotkeys set up. I just don't, and I don't... Oops. Alright, so... We're gonna switch now to our clone stamp a little bit. Let's actually jump up to a new layer. Since I'm using a different tool. I need to edit this individually. The end result. Okay. So then we'll come in here. Bring it down just a little bit. Oops. Add hair back. Add the hair that got deleted back. Alright. So we'll do some of that. Oops. I'm on the spot healing brush, not the clone. Not my healing brush. I was on my clone stamp, not my healing brush. Let's fix this. There's some weird discoloration going on there. Okay. Alright. Fix that. Then we can come in here. We can clean up some of the hair in there. Fill in some of those gaps. We'll come up here. Again, what's really helping us here is that the background is nondescript. So we can get away with a lot more because I know I can come in here with my healing brush and just blend all these edges together. And because it's so, you'll never know what I did. So let's just come in here. Oops. Oh, really? There's that much of a color shift? Alright, well let's see if our healing brush can get in this area. Yeah. It's doing a bit better because it's blending. Fill in a couple of hair gaps there. We'll take something from over here. Fill in there. A little bit bigger. All right. And I'm probably spending more time on this than I need to, which is why my edits run really long. But this is also good practice for me. I haven't really done any crazy editing in a while. And so this is really going to help me, you know, with blending and all that kind of stuff, getting back into the swing of things. It also reminds me when I'm on a shoot to look out for things like these stray hairs. Like we should have hairsprayed before shooting these. But no big deal. Now, would she have cared? No. Most people wouldn't have cared about these stray hairs. You know who cares about these? Other photographers. It's the first thing they see. I know it's the first thing I see. But there's some images where it works. I just don't feel that this is one of them. Alright, so let's so we're just gonna try and fill using her own hair color. So I'm just trying to sample from different areas and just creating short streaks. Now you could use a hairbrush for that. I didn't want to take that time. Alright, so let's go back to our spot healing for this area here. And we're just going to get rid of some of the areas that stick out. Which there's not a ton here that sticks out. Okay, so then let's go back to our clone stamp and we'll try that same technique we just did. And I'm just sampling different areas and doing some quick hair strokes, I guess you could call it. So what we're doing is using our hair to paint more hair, really. Yeah. That's not too bad. Okay. And what I could even do, like, now that I'm looking at it from afar, this piece of her hair looks really messy and like it shouldn't be there. So let's increase our hardness and come in. And we'll do some masking in a second to clean this up. But we're just going to remove that which looks weird. And I mean, we can, so why not? My whole experience in Photoshop. We can, so why not? Alright, and then let's see if I need to add a mask to pull. You still want it to look somewhat natural. And right here, it's looking a little off. So we'll put a mask on there. Go to a normal brush. We'll make it somewhat hard. And then we'll paint black here just to bring, there we go. All right, so everything that we've done is just a base level cleanup, right? So before and after, it's just cleaning up the stragglers around our hair, just making it look a little bit better. So all of our cleanup. Now, one thing I missed. We'll use our spot clone. And we're just going to do that. Okay. All right, let's save that. Oh. Do. Let's see what we have going on here. All right, so let's go ahead and start our frequency separation. So let's do my nice little trick. Duplicate the layer or the document. We're gonna flatten everything. And then I think this one oh, I just updated this panel and they have a median. No way. Okay, so let's see how this looks. They say default to 7. 4, I still have a little bit of texture. 5, 6. I think 6 is good for this image. Hit okay. All right, how does it look here? They even put the copy. Okay. The only thing they don't do is add that. Oh my god, that's so useful. That's gonna be so useful. All right, and we'll go and do the editing in this document, and then we'll throw it over into the other document. So just so it's not having to load everything while we're actually doing our editing. So the first thing we'll do is our skin cleanup. So I turn off all my texture layers, and then I grab my mixer brush, and then I just come in here and I start blending. Very nice, very carefully. I don't even need to be this close. I could probably be this close when I'm doing this step. It really depends. And I do jump all over the place. I find that as I jump around, it helps me to clean things up a little bit better, to see the overall image. And I want to definitely clean this up. Over here too. Now the only reason I'm not running Portrait Pro like I did last time is I have to work on it. I have to figure out the best settings to use it for that. And I ended up doing this anyway. So until I get that more figured out, I don't want it to hold us up. Or hold me up, I should say. So we're just blending the texture areas, cleaning things up, blending some things together, smoothing it out. And then obviously we are going to reduce this layer because I do find that I always go heavy-handed when doing this. But this is a good way that if you have someone that has like red splotchy skin and stuff, this is a great way to get rid of all that. Okay, let's see here. Like there's a little too much red there, so we're just gonna blend it. Couple of circle blending. Pull back a little bit more. All right, so I do know I need to blend some things in here. This is a little too close than I like to go, but I want to lighten this area a little bit, and then I want to make sure that this area is nice and blended together because it's looking a bit splotchy to me. Blend everything in there. One of the few places I don't use this on is the lips and stuff. That I do separate if I need to. Because I like to keep the texture in the lips. And sometimes if I get too in the weeds there, I'll really remove the texture. And that's not a good thing. Alright, so let's come up here and let's just throw a couple of strokes this way. So, and then the chin too, we'll just even it out. We'll reduce that line, the smile line. Now normally I use the black and white layer. I guess I got a little excited when I started this because the panel has the median technique on it now. But yeah, normally I'm working on a black and white layer. And then we'll blend this stuff together. I want to make sure I don't blend it too much, especially in these darker areas because I don't want to lose some of that, the shadowing. But I can easily do this lightly. And again, I'm going to take this layer down a bit. And then, so this is that red stippling I was telling you about. We can literally just come in here and kind of paint it away. And I really need to figure out my whole desk situation sooner. The desk is actually moving while I'm painting. I wonder if I pull my arm off the desk a little bit more. If that helps. So it's just my hand. I mean, we'll see how uncomfortable this is for me, but yeah. And then here, I want to make sure I keep the cleavage line. And we can keep some of those freckles there. There's nothing wrong with those being there. We're just going to blend. Smoothing out, taking care to kind of avoid the fabric. All right. Okay, so if we look at that, so if we look at that, just on the color layer, are before and after. So we're just cleaning up those transition lines, making everything look a little bit nicer, flow a little bit more together. All right. So then if we put our texture layer, back on, we still have all that skin texture. Now, because we did some cleanup, some of the skin texture looks off. Okay, mainly over here. It's really sharp. It's really harsh, and we really don't need it to be. But the first thing we want to do is take this layer, the color layer that we just edited, and fade it out a bit. So maybe about, oops, say a bit, and then I hit. All right, so let's do about 72%. So before and after. So it just lets some of that underlying back in a little bit less. So now we turn our texture layers back on. And something I'm going to do is on this top texture layer, so I'm not affecting the original, so I always have backups. I'm going to use my again, a mixer brush. I'm going to come into these texture detail areas. And I'm going to blend it. And what this will do is soften the texture a little bit. Now you want to be careful. And again, we'll be able to take this layer down and reduce the opacity because we are working non-destructively. Okay. And I'm only doing it in the really harsh areas. Mainly the pores. I did light her somewhat from the side, so her pores were catching more of the light. I don't need to do it as much over here. We'll do it around her eyes. Reducing that. This is actually a fairly new method that I learned. I used to take this layer and blur it. And it gave me iffy results. I like actually just painting on this layer so much more with the mixer brush. Just a little bit. And again, we are going to pull it down if need be, which we may need to in certain areas. We could always mask it and paint it only in areas that we want it to. That's an option. And the thing is, the texture is still there. I'm making sure that I'm not removing the texture. We're just softening it a bit. And we are avoiding, obviously, main areas like around the eyes and stuff. Alright. And I don't do this on her body. Her body texture can stay. You probably can't see that from this distance because I could barely see it. Okay. So before and after. See how harsh that skin texture is? We just removed it. And then lower this opacity and bring some of it back. Alright. I think we are done with frequency separation. So let's see. This drag and drop isn't always working, and I don't know what's going on. It's been since the last update, so they obviously did something over at Adobe. Alright, so we have our frequency separation. See how that just cleaned it up? All right. So now let's do some dodging and bunning. Let's go into this panel because they have both the curves and the gray layer. Oh, it's so nice. I actually have to go and play through all this stuff because I don't know what all this is. They even have this digital skin texture, which I need to look into because what I could have done is fully remove this area and painted more skin texture in there if I wanted to, using that digital skin texture, which that's always an option if you need it. So let's see, let's do actually, you know what, let's go and do her eyes first, and we're gonna use my method for her eyes until I play around with the other stuff. So we're going to do a rough selection around her eyes, duplicate that, duplicate, throw it into screen, mask it, and let's go ahead and do the other two. Turn you off. Come on to our mask. Normal brush tool, not the mixer brush. Flow maybe about 3%. And then we're going to paint white onto our mask to reveal. Her eyes aren't that bad. Sometimes I'll clean all the veins out of the eyes. For her, I don't know. It's just not as bad as it is in some people. So now we're gonna have neon glow. So we got to pull that down. About right there. I find most things around 30% work. All right. So then we'll turn this layer on. Knock it into color dodge. Hide it. And then we're going to come in here and we're going to, oops, see, I painted that in the wrong area. So one thing I do need to do is bring my hardness all the way down. And we are going to go down to about a 1% here. I need a little bit more control. And so we're going to just paint in the color of the eye, in the iris. Now, one thing I do know, the light is hitting here, is in the sketch light. So this part of her eye should be a little bit brighter than the other parts. So I will hit that part of the eye a little bit more, and then I'll go over the whole thing. So we'll do the same thing here. Paint that in. And then we'll go here where it should be the brightest. Paint a little bit more first. And we'll do some broad sweeping strokes over the whole eye. Okay. So, before and after. Way too harsh. I think this one about 50% is going to work nicely. Yeah. And then we'll take this, we'll do a color burn, reverse mask to hide it. We'll zoom in a little bit closer. Oop, not so that the grid shows up. And then we'll just paint some darkness. Now her eyes, I can see, have a little darkness on the edges. So we'll do that. We'll fill in her pupil. Get some of these colors a bit darker like they're supposed to be. Just to create a little visual texture within the eye. To the other eye. And yeah, my depth of field was really shallow because you can tell because one eye is more in focus than the other. But since this isn't like a competition image or something like that, I really don't care. Still looks fairly good. All right, so that the before and after of that, just adding a little bit of texture back into those eyes. So as a whole, can delete that original layer. So as a whole, before and after, we're just popping them eyes a little bit. Okay, and actually I think the screen needs to come down a little bit more. All right, so we'll name that group eyes. Then let's do, I don't think her teeth really need it, but we're gonna do a magic smile, which this is a hue saturation layer that's just taking some color out of the, I think, yellows. Yep. And then a channel mixer layer, which I still have to figure exactly what's doing, but it's doing something to the gray layer. But I just know it does wonders on the teeth. But for this, I do work a little bit higher at maybe about like a 5% flow. What is that? That's her back tooth. We're gonna get rid of that. Let's get rid of that right now. It's gonna drive me nuts. So I'm just using my spot healing brush tool. And we're just gonna get rid of that. Okay. So then we'll go back to our teeth mask. And again, we're painting white to reveal because it automatically had a mask on it. And her teeth are mostly white. So I'm focusing more on the edges and in between the places that just naturally, and I think I need this a lot higher, so let's do about 20%, otherwise we're gonna be here all day. I turned this layer way down, so it's not a big deal. if we do it aggressive. I do most things in moderation, but this we can do kind of quick. All right. Let's see how glowy her teeth are. All right, let's see here. Boom. All right. So let's back out a little bit. So let's look at the whole image. So this is where we started. And this is where we're at. Just nice cleanup. Okay. So now we're going to do our dodge and burn. And then we'll do some color toning and then liquefying, and then that should be it. So I think what we'll do is we'll do a general dodge and burn, and then we'll do a more targeted dodge and burn. So what I mean by that is I'm going to use, I think, both of these curves twice. So let's load it. We're still using this visual aid and I don't like it. So we're going to use my visual aid because I like my visual aid a lot more, which is just a solid color set to black, and then you change it to color. This gives you a truer representation of black and white. I don't want to take the time to go into why right now, but I will have a video on it at some point to actually show the differences, because it's weird. All right, so what we'll do in this dodge and burn, we're gonna just invert the mask. So the dodge curve is being applied to everything. Okay. But what we are going to do is double click on the layer. Double click on the layer. Don't make me a liar. And then we're going to use this blend if command. So I'm going to blend it out of the shadows. So right now it's only affecting the highlights. And I could even target more direct where I want it. Okay. Just like that. And then we'll do the same thing with the burn curve. We'll invert that mask so it's showing everywhere. And we're going to take that out of the highlights. And we're going to take that out of some of the shadows too. Yeah. So what this just did is make the image look really contrasty. Okay. So what we need to do is apply these little by little. So, excuse me, let's start with our burn. We'll do ever so subtle, and then same thing with our dodge. Okay. And I think that looks pretty good. We're just adding a pop of contrast here. Nothing crazy. Just a pop of contrast to the whole image. And it's targeted contrast, so it's not like using a contrast slider where you can't control how dark something gets or how bright something gets. Here, you have full control over everything. Like if I think the darks were too bright, or I mean too dark, I just pull that layer down. And so now it's a lot more subtle. Look at that. Nice little pop. And now we'll do a more targeted where we actually will paint the areas that we want to dodge and burn. And this is going to be more to pull out the clothing a little bit, enhance a couple of the highlights on her face real quick. And then we're going to go into color burn. How am I on time? 1:23? We may hit the 2 hours again, people. But that's okay. Eventually I will get faster. The cleanup stuff just takes forever because I'm always wanting to clean everything up. Oh, why do I have all these notifications? Saved yet? Nope, not saved yet. So what do you guys think of the music? Like it? Don't like it? Let me know. Alright. Let's do targeted dodge and burn. So we're going to run that dodge and burn curves command again. We're gonna delete their visual aid. Eventually, maybe I'll learn to like it. And then I'll move my dodge, my color up to the top. That's important because you want to be working on stuff underneath it. If you're working on stuff above it, it's going to give you weird results. Maybe not so much for the dodge and burn, but for other tools. So it's good practice to do that. So we'll zoom in a little bit, flow down to 1%. And I'm just using keyboard shortcuts for that. You can easily come up here and click. I find that just takes too much time. You can, you know, swipe in, select that too. But I'm just using keyboard shortcuts, a little bit easier. So we're going to do our dodging first. And you can switch between the two. You don't have to do it in order like I am. It's all personal preference. So I'm just enhancing some of the shadows here on her face. Shadows, the highlights. So I'm not adding highlights. I'm not trying to create highlights where there are no highlights. All I'm doing here is enhancing the highlights that are already there. So we'll do it in her hair too. And this is where a Wacom tablet comes really handy, because as I use my pressure sensitivity, I can control how big my brush size is, so I don't have to keep readjusting your brush size, because you really need to make sure your brush size is the right size when doing this, because you don't want to dodge into an area that you don't want to brighten. And we're not trying to do anything super drastic here. You know, we're just trying to add little bits of pop, and I think we are going to pop the eye a little bit more. Get some more drama out of the eyes. Okay. And now we'll go to our burn layer. We're going to have a bit more burning to do here. And that's okay. I just want to add a little bit more contrast to certain areas. And we'll actually dodge a little bit here too. And then we'll burn just underneath the chin area right here. Thank you, S5. Yeah, I can't work destructively anymore because too many times I find I have to go back and change things and I'm like, I can't. So, and welcome. Yeah, non-destructive is definitely the way to go. It means you have to have somewhat of a better computer, or you have to work a little bit differently. Like when we go into the color toning, I'll create that in a new document, because otherwise it really does slow down. Ooh, who cuts out with an eraser? Who? I don't even know where the eraser is in this program. I don't think I've ever used the eraser. Eraser? No. Yeah, I've had, when I first started, obviously, I was destructively editing, but, since I actually started learning, too much. You can't do it. I'll have 50 layers before I flatten anything, ever. And the only time I honestly flatten is if I'm sending it to JPEG. Eraser. Man, if I ever saw someone on YouTube who claimed to be a photo editor and they started using erasers and stuff, oh God. Oh yeah, there it is. Right there. i5 4400 8GB RAM, 2TB. I'm working on a 1GB file, like 10 layers. Oh God, no. The one thing I will suggest for you, SSD. Get an SSD, even if it's an external SSD. As long as you have a 3.1 USB port, or USB-C, it will make a world of difference. But yeah, the RAM. What the i5? I know those aren't they. Oh crap! I know they're not hyper-threaded, but what are the gigahertz? i5 9600K, 32 gig is good. Yeah. That if you can do that, that'd be good. If you can build your own computer, you could even probably do it a bit cheaper than having to buy it somewhere. But if you can't do that, then yeah, definitely get something like that. You could also, I don't know what your budget is, but wait for the next gen of CPUs to come out. Oh, I was scared the first time I built one. A lot of it's plug and play. Like if you don't care, oh, you could easily buy something for less than $1,000. Well, I say that in America, I could do it for less than $1,000. I don't know how that translates to pounds, but I'm sure you could get a pretty good system. And Photoshop and Lightroom, if you use Lightroom, they do use GPU power. So make sure you don't have to get a top of the line GPU, but make sure you get like a decent GPU, and that will help also. Especially for certain tools like the mixer brush and stuff that they use the GPU. I mean, I could talk about computers all day. I had so much fun when I built my first one. Alright, let's go in here. Darken. i5 9600K, 32 gig RAM, 1 terabyte SATA SSD for around 750-ish, probably like 650, 700 pounds if you're building yourself. Oh, that's what I thought too. The fans are the easiest part of the whole setup. Literally, there's holes where they screw into. The biggest thing is figuring out positive or negative pressure, and the best way I've seen it, it changes a little bit if you're using all-in-one cooler as opposed to an air cooler. So I use an air cooler. So what I do is I have 2 fans on the front of my case that are that pull air in, and then I have 2 fans on the top and 1 fan in the back that are pulling air out or pushing air out. And then my air cooler is pointing towards the back of the case. So it's sucking in all that nice cool air to cool down my CPU and then shoving it out the back. If you have an AIO cooler, I think the best setup is to put the radiator on the front with the 2 fans sucking air in, and then you have the other fans venting out. But there's tons of videos on YouTube. I don't know if you know Jay's 2 Cents or Linus Tech Tips. They talk about that stuff quite a bit, and they're kind of how I learned. Yeah, they're kind of how I learned to do it. So, and yeah, I was scared at first, but it's a weird sense of accomplishment when you build it yourself. But it's also fun because once you know how it works, you can do a lot of stuff with it. Easily get me talking about tech all the time. I actually thought about going into that as a career field, but I realized once I turned something into work, it's not fun for me anymore. Yeah, just so I can slightly overclock the i5 but close to my gigahertz. You could do that with an air cooler if you get the right one. Like I run a Noctua and I'm on a 9900K, and that thing runs hot as hell. And my Noctua is able to, it's about $100 Noctua, but it's able to keep it cool. Well, here's a question for you. Do you plan on the new computer do you get? Do you want it to be upgradable? If you want it to be upgradable, get a better motherboard that can support a more powerful processor within that range. That way, if you do upgrade it, you're not having to upgrade the whole computer again. So, and most of the higher mid-tier to high-end, and I'm not talking about like a $500-600 motherboard. I'm talking like a $200-300-ish, if possible, or even less. I think there's some that are a couple $100 too, so that you have the ability to upgrade to an M.2 or a better processor. Yeah, I have a 512 M.2, and that I use for my operating system, Photoshop, all my programs, and then I keep that fairly cleared off. And then I have a secondary 1 terabyte internal SSD for my games, and my heavy demanded games anyway, that I want slow load times on. Passing scratch disk to, yep. Thank you for the follow. Yeah, that's a good thing. And then I run a 4, because normal hard drives are cheap. I'm running a 4 terabyte internal storage drive, and I mainly have that because I do some video work, and the video files will eat up all the space on my SSDs. So I need a place to put it. So yeah. And you do kind of want to think long term. Like if you're going to upgrade it, Oh, so true. So true. No, I feel that. Before I started building computers, my parents were buying my computers, and so, we were buying $200-300, maybe $500 computers, more for gaming than anything else. And then we started buying the really big ones, and then I started building them. Yeah, you could do that. You could always get the GPU later. Or the built-in GPU. I think the i5s may have a built-in GPU, so that should work for a little bit. Yeah, because I think some of them have a fairly decent GPU, and if you have 32 gigs of RAM, it can always use some of your RAM for the for that. And I did something here. Yeah. I'm gonna have to run frequency separation again. I'm seeing some weird patterning over there, and I don't know if it's just me or if I messed up somewhere. Oh, nope, it's just there. Alright, we'll run a secondary frequency separation and clean that up. Alright, let's see how we're looking. That's looking pretty good. Let's do a little bit more dodging. Yeah, I could talk about computer stuff all day. So yeah, if you have any questions, post them. It was a hard choice GPU-wise when I started researching a few years back, but now most video cards can run 10-bit displays. It makes no sense to go quadro. Yeah, true. I'm running, I'm stupid, but I bought a 2800K, the 2080 RTX, and now I'm kicking myself because the graphics card I had before was fairly good. But obviously I want to start this streaming stuff, and I know I needed something to be able to stream and possibly game and run these programs all at the same time. But now, with the 3080s coming out, I think I'm going to get one of those if they come out with an 11 gig. Basic 3D stills into boost. Yeah, the 1060 is what I had before. Yep. Good card, man. I was using it for the longest time. I still have it. It's actually going to go to my friend. I'm going to gift it to him for like Christmas or something. He's gotten all my hand-me-down computer parts. He's so happy. let's see here. Oh, looking clean. Man, you don't know how clean something looks until you do a before and after, man. All right, let's run another frequency separation. And then we'll start doing some color toning. So what we are going to do to keep things kind of clean, because as like we're talking about, we don't want to kill Photoshop. And with all these layers right now, you can see it's taking a while to save. We're going to do a little trick I do. Little trickery. Once it's done saving, of course. Yeah, 1060 is good. And you said you were going to get the i5. Let me see if I can find where you said it. 9600K. Let me that processor. i5 9600K. Let's see what that is. Up to 4.6 gig. Nice. How many cores? 6 cores. That's good. Yeah, and you know something else about Photoshop? It's core speed heavy. It's not multi-core heavy. So having multiple cores or hyper-threading doesn't increase Photoshop's performance that much. So this is actually a really good choice. Especially because you can probably get it overclocked to 5 gigahertz easily. It's so nice. I originally bought it to edit in the Adobe RGB color space. And excuse me, while that's amazing, most of the stuff I do doesn't go to print, so it was more or less useless. So it's still extremely color accurate, and so I now use it, you know, mostly for normal editing and stuff, but because it has the ability to do the RGB color space, I can edit my photos in the RGB color space. So like right now, if I go into my color, my profile, I'm running the Adobe RGB color space, and I can see it better because of this monitor. It's one of the best decisions I made, and it's cost effective. I couldn't believe how cost effective it was. Compared to some of the other ones, you know, like the Ezios or the N. Oh, there's one with an N on it. It'll come to me. Much as I can, 4 cores is where you'll get the most bang for buck. Yep, 6 cores, you still get some. Well, 6 cores will be good if you ever decide to start gaming or something like that. That'll be helpful. If you start doing any kind of streaming or anything, it'd be helpful there too. Obviously, hyper-threading is the best for streaming. But yeah, something about half as expensive covers all sRGB and most of it. Yeah, if you do digital, there's no reason to get the Adobe RGB color space into it. Just get something that's classed for what you're doing, and that's why my setup here is a little weird. Like my my editing monitor is right here, and then to my left where I'm looking is actually my gaming monitor. So when I'm game streaming and stuff, I sit more like this, and then I have an older monitor all the way over here. So I have a 3-monitor setup, but I will only edit on my BenQ. So I was trying to get a setup to where I could move my monitors around, and it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. So I just have to shift positions based on what I'm doing. Okay, so we saved. All right, so what we are going to do real quick is duplicate the document. And then don't panic. We're going to flatten, but don't panic. We're going to flatten this. And then we're going to run our median frequency separation. And let's see. It defaults to 7, and I'm kind of liking 7. Let's just knock it down real quick. 4. I think I want to see a little bit more there. Okay. Using a Samsung old TV with tab arrows, green and red lines go. Oh yeah. Well, any TV isn't gonna be good. That's one thing I have found out. While TVs are great for like gaming on and stuff like that, they're not great for production work. They're great for potentially displaying it. But they don't, I don't know, they don't, to me, they don't have the same clarity because you're not designed to sit as close to a TV. TVs are not designed for you to sit up close on them like a monitor is. So, it doesn't have a 30K studio display either. True. Yeah. And phones are decent for look. I do it all the time. I pull up my smartphone to check all my colors and stuff too. I also check them on my 3 different monitors because they're 3 different brands or 3 different styles. So then I can get a better read of how someone maybe with a gaming monitor would. Yeah, it's a struggle. It's probably the hardest part about doing any kind of photography or video work. You don't know what someone is viewing it on. You just don't know. Like, all 3 of my monitors are calibrated. I've used my color calibrator on all 3 of them. And then I have profiles on each one. So like my gaming profile, I'll turn it off when I'm gaming. Because I don't want my color profile on gaming because it mutes the colors. So yeah, it's a lot of work, but I will tell you it is worth it in the end. Phone, TV, laptop, and then just sit there like I'm in a TV store. Hey, you do what you gotta do. Sometimes that's what you gotta do. Alright, let's see here. Let's clean up. Let's just blend this splotching that happened a little bit. Alright. So we're just gonna use the mixer brush on our frequency separation color layer. And I missed this in the original. And so we're just gonna blend these colors together. When my class of Mac and tells me remove the green, but I don't see any green. Yeah. Yeah, Mac screens are nuts. I'm not a huge Mac person. Mainly because I think that they cost way too much for what they are. But their displays are usually really nice. Hey, so it happens sometimes. You never know what someone's I had someone tell me that one of my images had too much red in it, and I pull it up and it's totally fine. Come to find out, somehow he had boosted something. He was running some weird color profile on his monitor. So because I knew my image was good, but yeah, if you don't have that reassurance because you're not running something, then yeah. And don't feel embarrassed about doing that. You know, just tell them, hey, I just need to make sure that, you know, it's maybe not your monitor or something like that, because everyone's monitors are different. I build websites for a living, and let me tell you how hard it is to color match things. When someone wants something from a printed piece matched to their website, oh my God, it's a nightmare when you tell them that we can't display that. Alright, we're almost done here. And then we're going to do some color toning and see what kind of... Ooh, yeah, let's fix that. We do not need... She will thank me for getting rid of these bags. So what kind of photography do you normally shoot? Or do you like to shoot? And do you do it for a living? Alright, that should be good. This should be pretty good. Yeah. Alright. So let's turn our texture back on. Quick before and after. There we go. That just cleaned that up. And then let's pull that And this isn't gonna work, is it? Dang, I don't know what happened with Photoshop, but I can't just drag things from window to window like that anymore, and it's driving me insane. Alright. So now we have that frequency separation layer on top. And we will lower it. To about 71%. Perfect. Let's let that save. I did one website for an agency, nothing complex, just a WordPress plus theme, and I'm just the young guy putting it together. Halfway in the client's nephew. Oh no. I just got to the halfway in the client's nephew logged in, and yup, I already feel your pain. I already feel it. Oh. Man. Oh, that hurts. But at least you got paid for it. So you do cover art work for rappers, so photo manipulation. Oh, very nice. Yeah, absolutely. I try and watch as many different photo editors and stuff as possible, even if they do stuff that I cringe at, like destructive editing, because you never know a technique or something that they do that you could adapt to your work. So it sometimes some ones, you know, are bad. You watch it and you go, no, you shouldn't be doing this. No. But then there's some you go, holy shit, I didn't even know you could do that. Like the day I found out about the mixer brush changed my life. Because all that frequency separation stuff, I used to do painting. So I would do color selection on a layer and paint and then select and paint. Whereas now I could just blend in. Same thing a gig for a large hotel straight after. Turned it down though. I'm just a guy who knows a little WordPress for my own stuff. I've done some large websites, but I don't take on such as. Oh, hey, that's actually very professional of you. Very professional of you. I know people that would not agree with what you just said and would grab it even if they didn't know what the hell they were doing. And kudos, man, kudos. Photoshop banana. I have no idea. I'm gonna Google that right now. Photoshop banana. Let's see here. First, open up the customized toolbar. What? Open up. Alright, let's see here. Photoshop banana. First, open up the customized toolbar menu. Edit toolbar. Click it. Yeah. Hold shift while clicking the done button. Oh, it's a banana. Oh, why'd it go away? It's a what the? Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Now, if you're gonna do if someone hires you to do like a Squarespace or a Wix or something, and you know how to do it, take it in a heartbeat. But for something like maybe what a hotel needs, or something like that, then yeah, maybe you know, pass it off to someone else. And what you could do with that too is work. Maybe work some networking with that. So maybe there's people building a website that need photography services. So then they can go, oh, well, I have a photographer that can go do that. You know, you can have a nice network, a nice, I can't think of the word right now, with another person. All right, let's do some color editing, because I think this is looking pretty damn good. So this is where we started. This is the original image out of Capture One. Actually, technically, if we want to get real technical, Oop. Stop zooming in. Stop zooming in. We can, why can I never find it? We can reset this. So this was the original image. This is where we first started. Then we went from this image to this image. And then we went from this image, which is this image here, to this. In an hour and 50-ish minutes. Well, a little bit less than that. Because I started about 15 minutes late. Because I ran into some sound issues. Anything I can't do, I'll refer you to someone. I don't charge referrals or anything I'm not against. I just live at home and would rather not ask a dude with a mortgage for 10% of his website cut. That's true, but some people wouldn't mind paying that 10%. You know, I mean, for a good referral and stuff like that, I don't see a problem with that. Or maybe you have a flat fee, maybe $100 for a referral or something like that. You know, because I mean, you are putting a little bit of work in. Or, you know, you can do service exchange, however you want to do it. And thank you. Yeah, it's taken me a number of years to even get here, and I'm still learning. You know, there's still some days where I'm like, I need to get better. I need to do more. So, all right. So what we are going to do, we are going to flatten here because I am happy where everything is. But obviously, I don't want to lose any of this work just in case I have to come back to it. So we are going to save a new file, and we're going to call it color. And this is where we're going to do what I call the fun stuff. And the only reason we're flattening is because doing some of this color stuff will take forever. It could, even on my machine. And I don't mind separating it out either. Because again, I work non-destructively, so most of the time I'm working in stuff that I can just reapply if I do end up changing the bottom image. And then, as we can already see, it's taking a while to save. So, saving. saving. Ugh. I mean, yeah, it's only because I work so non-destructively. It's just intensive. Not to mention, you know, obviously right now I'm recording and streaming at the same time. And so it's a lot better than it was on my old machine. 5,000 layer file in Lightroom and quickly apply edits. Oh, yeah. Well, technically, I think you could open a 5,000 layer file in Lightroom because Lightroom doesn't see layers, which is actually a real downside of Lightroom, which is actually why I'm editing in Capture One right now. Dock size, but the little say bar. Right now, it's 1.92 Gs. Yeah, mine's 1.92. And I shoot with a 24 megapixel camera. I think it's a 24 megapixel, man. No. Asking all the tough questions. Let's see here. It is a 24 megapixel camera. Alright, let's flatten this down to its bare minimum. And now I'm at 138 meg because I flattened it. Yeah, but no, it was at like 1.92 gigabyte. Alright, what color do I want to do on this thing? Actually, I'm probably just going to pull some of the settings from the previous image I did because I want to kind of keep them within the same realm. More megapixel, more low light performance. What people don't realize is how small the sensor is in a phone. It may be 40 megapixel, but you don't get, it's not the same kind of sensor. Megapixels don't mean much. Low-key, which phone companies will come out with 6 megapixel sensors on a 1-inch sensor? Yeah, Yeah. But they won't because 6 megapixels doesn't sound good, but 40 sounds amazing. Especially when you hear DSLRs are, oh yeah, that DSLR is only a 24 megapixel. What they don't tell you is how much of a beast it can shoot in low light. Go try and shoot something low light on your phone. Yes and no. It's more the sensor and the dynamic range of said sensor. Like the D850 is a beast of a camera, and it's got pretty good low light. I think the low light may be a little bit less than the D750, but the D750 was built for low light stuff. And then I don't know the Sony's, but I have started to look into Sony's because I want to upgrade my streaming setup. And I know Sony Record, and I want to get a streaming camera that I can also use for photo shoots as a backup and stuff. So I need to see how Sony's handle that. Hasselblad. I only shoot on Hasselblad. No, the D850 is a Nikon. It's the camera above the Nikon D750, which are all DSLRs. I've heard of Hasselblads. I've never actually shot one. Yeah, the Sony mirrorless is amazing. I just couldn't justify dropping the amount of money I have between my camera and the glass for a whole new ecosystem yet. Me saying that, I just upgraded my entire computer system, but hey, priorities, right? Yeah, Hasselblads are expensive, which is why I don't have one. I've seen plenty of photographers shoot with them, like on videos and stuff. But it's, I mean, they're amazing. It's medium format, right? Oh yeah, glass is ridiculous. But it's so important. The body is so much less important than the glass that's on it. Like, you could have the top of the line camera, but then if you have some stupid little kit lens on there, ugh, you're done. Yeah, medium format. What am I trying to open up? My brain's not working. Oh yeah, that's right. I want to open. I don't need this anymore. Delete that. Where's the image from yesterday? Is it this one? Or I mean Sunday. I'd like a $400 phone with a full frame, 10 megapixel camera. Yeah, good luck. Maybe some camera company will eventually do that. Okay, good. I found the file. All right. So what we're going to do is try and transfer some of the color toning from this image, which is the image I edited on Sunday morning, which came in at a whopping 2.1 gig down here by the time I finished it. And we're going to apply some of this color toning to this image so that they match as closely as we can get them to match. So let's see what I did, because I was a bit crazy on Sunday. Oh yeah, wait, what's this? Is this color toning? I mean, look at all these layers, man. So many layers. Okay, so these are all types of color layers. All right, so let's pull this whole group over. Please work. Please work. That didn't work. Hold on one second. My dad needs me real quick. I'll be right back.
I'm running out of time, every day goes by so fast. And every moment counts, baby, I don't wanna miss a thing. We can sleep under the stars, we can sleep under the stars, or hang out in hotel bars, driving somewhere in your car. We can sleep under the stars, we can sleep under the stars, under the stars.
All right, I'm back. Planning out dinner and stuff for this weekend. All right, so let's. Can I copy and paste a group? Ooh, wait. Why did it say merging? I don't. That works. I'm so happy that worked. All right. So now I just need to see where this ghosting thing is, and I think that's... Alright, so let's clean off these masks. And then I can figure out where all this... Okay, so that's here. Alright. So let's start turning everything off, and then we'll turn these on one by one and see. Oh, don't worry. I've been dragging them across too. That's all I did was drag them across. I literally just tried the copy and paste method and it worked. So that's what I'll be doing from now on. I taught myself something today. Taught myself something today. Alright, let's see here. Curves layer. I don't know if I need that, so let's turn that off for now. Selective color. Ooh, that's nice. Yeah, with that I do need this curves layer, but not that harsh. Okay. So let's lower this a little bit too. And I'm only doing this because I've already matched. I'm trying to match the colors into like a series. Alright, so let's see what I have in this group. Okay, so this group is kind of like a thing I saw someone do once. And it's 3 color lookup tables. One is set to edgy amber. One is set to foggy night, and one is set to crisp winter. Excuse me, and then they're all set to like 9%. And it just adds this nice little, haze and color to it. I don't know, I just really like it. And then I did a gradient fill here. So all this is doing, it's a radial gradient. If I show it to normal, this is another trick I love doing. So it's a radial gradient just like this, and I want to bring your eye to my subject's face. So what I do with the radial gradient is set it to soft light, which soft light is a less aggressive form of overlay, and then I lower the opacity. And what it does is it creates somewhat of a natural vignette. So before and after. It just adds a little something to the edge and drags your eyes to the center. Now, the only downside to it is it does decrease the contrast here a little bit, which I don't necessarily like. And so I have a contrast layer here, which is going to reapply the contrast. And what I need to do is fill that with black and paint it over this subject's face, because it was on for the other my other photo. So we'll put the flow at about not 50%, and then we're just going to paint some of that contrast back into her face that we lost with that gradient. In the hair, if you want to do it to the hair, you can do it to the hair. All right, so before and after. That's such a subtle change. That's just so subtle. Yeah, let me see. If we zoom in, can we see it? Yeah, you can see it in the eyes. Alright, and then there's a secondary selective color, which I take some red out of the image. I felt that there was too much red in there. Oh yeah, wow. Alright, I think about right there is good. Alright, so our color so far, this is where we started, and then this is where we're at now. I may have to take something off on the jacket. I don't know if I like the shift in the jacket color, but we'll see. Let's see here. Okay, so what is doing it to the jacket color? This layer right here. Alright, let's lower that a little bit more. And then we're gonna mask it off of the jacket. I don't want it on the jacket at all. Let's do a 10% flow. Do you use a Wacom? Are you a Wacom or a mouse person? Let's. I may need to go a bit more. Bring back the jacket color. That other photo didn't have this jacket in it. What I do need is a sturdier desk. This thing moves a little bit too much for my liking, but that's in the works. Cause that involves measuring and some other, and then assembly and tearing everything apart and putting everything back together again. Alright, I think we're doing good there. I think it's more this group that's doing it. Yeah, so let's do the same thing. We'll just take that mask and clone it. And then what we are going to do is lower its density. So this is a neat little trick if you didn't know. Or it should be. I don't think it's working. Okay, so if you create a layer mask and then let's say it's too harsh because this is like a full black layer mask mostly, and you want to reduce it, you can double click in here, double click on the mask and go to your properties and reduce the density, and it will fade that mask. Such a useful tool. Alright. That's much better. And I think we're going to pop the contrast on her face a little bit more. Excuse me. Alright. So now let's see what's in this group. Absolutely nothing. Oh, I must have accidentally pulled these out of that group. All right. And then let's see what's in group 3. It's just a curves layer and a hue saturation layer, which this is probably something I didn't use a ton of. Doesn't look like it's actually doing anything. see if I'm just... Oh, it's not doing anything because I have the mask. Let's invert that mask. Okay, holy shit. What the hell was I doing with this layer? Oh, it was just for the background. Okay. Well, I don't even know if I want that on the background, to be perfectly honest. Alright, let's leave that off for now. I may not use that at all. We'll invert it just in case. I don't want to screw anything up. So let's go ahead and save that. Ugh. Let's see, what are we running at now? 187. Okay, we're still kind of nice and small, which is good. All right, so these were all for the sky. Do I need that sky? I think I may need that sky layer here. So let's pull that over. And I'm trying to click and drag again. Let's just copy and paste that sucker. I don't think it's faster, but it works. All right, so let's fill that mask in. Oops, 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 oops. And then we'll just paint it where I need it to go. I'll adjust it here in a second. And it can overlap the trees and stuff a little bit. It'll make it look a little bit more realistic. And then we'll just take the gradient and move it where we want it. And that song's is a little too low key for me right now. All right. Oops. I just want the sky solid with that color. Yeah. And that just adds that sky to the background. Okay. It's my sky layer. These were... Should turn that off so I can actually see what's going on. Let's see. Let's go. Doop. That's just a gradient on the bottom. That was the pillar. All right, so this was something I added to her skin. So let's pull that over, and we'll pull the vibrance over. It looks like the copy pasting does take a little bit more time, but I'm not mad. Alright, we'll hide both those layers. I don't need this layer in this document anymore. So then what we'll do is let's match them. So I know for this one I used I was probably trying to apply it to her, so I probably used the red channel. So let's load the red channel as a selection, and we will fill it here. And then using our levels, we'll kind of target it more towards the skin. Okay. Alright, just adding a little bit more life to her skin. Not that much though, because her skin was actually pretty good in this image to start with. Slight hit. Okay. And then we'll copy that mask Actually, oops, bad me. What'd I just do? Okay. We're actually just gonna do a snapshot. And then let's do a select subject. I just want my subject. Do a good job, Photoshop. Are we not gonna work? There we go. I'm okay with that. Do I want any vibrance? Maybe like 4%. Nope, you know what? This image doesn't need that vibrance filter. All right, but what we are gonna do in this group is take the red out of the eyes because we surely don't want that. So let's go to the mask and just darken. So I'm removing the red kind of skin tone that we added away from her eyes, you know, kind of turning her into a demon briefly. All right. Just a slight little red pop. Nothing crazy. So before and after. All right, so now I think I need a little bit more contrast in her face. I think I'm just still losing too much. Let's go overboard. All right, let's not do it with this layer. Only because, you know what? Let's try a black and white layer. Set to soft light. Oh, money. All right, so let's adjust. Okay. And then pick that up a bit over the whole image, which will add a little bit of contrast. Oh, that's too much. 10%. Yeah, I like that. That helps out that contrast on the face and with the whole image. Now we're gonna do something that I learned this from watching another photographer. He does this cool weird texture thing, and I want to see how it looks on here. All right, so we create a snapshot of the image. And then we're gonna go to filter, camera raw. And I hate that they changed this. It's a carnival. This should do some weird stuff to the image while it's loading. AS5, if you're still here, how's your image coming? All right, let's load this. Create a duplicate. We'll load the green channel. Layer mask. Oops. Copy that. And then invert. Alright, so this is affecting the skin. 30%. And then this. I'm in your room. I'm in your head. Twitter. You're not working on your image? Aw. Well, we're almost done here. That secret sauce. This is such a nice secret sauce. Alright. I'm wondering if I need to brighten her face a little bit more. What do you think? Does her face need to be a little bit more bright? I don't know if it does or not. Let's go 50%. I'm actually really digging this effect. And then let's just see if we take our original image, if we need any of that back. Yeah, I say around 10%. Alright, so now let's liquefy. And then we'll see about maybe adding some more light to her face if we need it. And then we'll sharpen. And we'll be... I cannot spell. Alright, let's liquefy. And we're only going to do some minor liquefying. I just want to help her hair out a little bit. So we are going to be careful around this area, because I don't want to distort the brick texture. Otherwise you get, you can tell someone did something. So we're going to be very, very careful around the brick. With her hair and earrings. Okay. Drag to the left. Oops. We can't put... Oh, let's shrink you. Okay. Come up just like this. Put back anything that we accidentally got rid of. Alright. Pop this out a bit. Oops. So many lines I have to watch. Kind of fill that hair in a little bit there. There we go. Just add a little bit more body and volume to that hair. Which, it's kind of insane how different someone looks when you add more hair to them. Okay. Elongate her neck a little bit. Bring that shoulder down just a tad bit. And boom, there we go. Liquefy. Now, I think rather than adding light to her face, we're going to darken the background. So I have a selection, or I thought I did somewhere. Did I not? Okay, so I did not keep said selection. So let's create a select subject. And then we will create a curves adjustment. And we will drag down. And then we will invert said mask. And then we will take said mask. Filter. Gaussian blur. And we are going to fade it out. Actually, I want to preserve that mask real quick, just in case. Let's save it to a, oops. Before I do this, because I don't know if this is actually going to work the way I want it to. 37, 87, 147. All right, that's good. Just a smidge to the background to darken it from her. All right. So let's see. Before, after. Before, after. Looking pretty good, I think. Hue saturation. I think a -2 there. And let's see if adding any vibrance does anything. Nope, don't need that. All right. I think that's good. And then let's just see. Finishing touch. Let's see if we do need to add a little bit of brightness to her face. Let's actually do that using the red channel, since the red channel usually has most of the skin tone. And then we'll just drag up a little bit. We'll limit the mask so that it's not brightening everything. And then we'll throw that into a folder. And then we'll put an inverted mask on said folder. And we will paint that back onto her face. Alright, I think that's it. I mean, my brain's going a mile a minute. I could go around playing with a ton of colors, but I want this to kind of match that other image. Yeah, just a little bit of pop. More of a pop. 50%. 60%. 60% it is. And then let's see. Does this thing have a sharpen? Resurface block. I need to see what all that stuff does. Does this have a sharpen? Sharpen, 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 sharpen. Huh! I swore this would have had a sharpen. Alright. Can I remember my sharpen? I don't know if I remember how to sharpen something. Solar curve. Why can't we have a layer with adjustments link as a layer mask? Why are our masks not destructive? Well, masks. Do you mean like because I had to throw this into a folder so that I didn't affect my original mask? Is that kind of what you're talking about? Because this is a just my way of getting around that, but I can see why they don't, because if you try and add a mask to this layer, you get a vector mask. So I guess they could let you add another mask to it so that you don't affect your original mask. I don't know. Folder option works. I can't remember how to sharpen my images. Oh, right, sharpening. Yes. Yeah, to sharpen this, I'm gonna have to. So let's actually use my plugin for it. So I will create a snapshot. Let's go into, is it Nick? Sharpener, output sharpener. Let's see what this does. Yeah, I wish we could just have like a sharpening adjustment stuff. There's like 52 million ways to add sharpening to an image. Oh, Nick, update available. Do that later. Not when I'm doing something, Nick. Oh. So basically I'm gonna try and do, why do you have to copy and paste and invert the photo and put it into a mask? Why can't you just link that photo as... Oh. Oh. I don't think they could figure out how to code that yet, really. Smart objects, I think, are kind of there. So, like, you could turn your photo into a smart object and then apply filters to that. But yeah, it doesn't work with adjustments. At least with masks and stuff. Yeah. Alright, so if I do a control point here, because I want to sharpen... Ooh, we went way too close. Do I not know how this program works? I don't know how this program works. Shit. Alright, that should be good. Imagine a smart mask, if that makes sense. It could, yeah. Oh, I totally agree. If you could somehow, like, especially with channels, like creating a smart channel mask. Oh my god, yeah. I could definitely see that. We are at 1.23 gig for the color layer. Alright, so let's paint the sharpness back to the side. Look at that. Oh, that eye now matches. So nice. Paint a little of the sharpness there in the teeth. We'll do some quick sharpness into the hair. Before and after. So if we zoom in. Who says you can't add sharpness to something that's slightly out of focus? Bam. Alright. So for our color step, this is our before. And this is our after. Now let's go pull in while this is saving. Which I don't know if I can open up another document while it's saving, but we'll find out real quick. What's this document? 4223. Yep, that's the one we're working on now. Just so we can see the full range of the from Capture One to now. Alright, so that is my edits. So let's take a copy of this layer, paste it. Let's take a, well, this is the bottom of that layer, so go away. Let's take a copy of this layer. Duplicate. Thank you, computer. All right, so this was the image straight out of Capture One. This was after my base retouching and cleanup. So I cleaned up all the stuff in the background. Look at how distracting that looks right now compared to this. It's ridiculous. And then color toning and liquify. So clean, which I would be happy presenting that to the client. Oh yeah, the adjustments into color lookup. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Color lookups. I have so many color LUTs and stuff because my video stuff I do. I need to start playing around with them in photographs and see how they meld together. Do you edit with a pen tablet or do you use a mouse? All right, let's get this ready to go online. Ooh, I need to crop it. I didn't crop it. I almost forgot to crop. What is wrong with me? All right, let's see what a 5x7 crop looks like here. We're right on that line and I'm happy about that. I don't want to cut too much headroom off. Let's see, how does that look? If I get a little bit closer. I'm not always a big follow the rule of thirds guy, but I just want to see what it'll look like if we kind of sort of do. I mean, it's a good rule of thumb, especially when you're learning. Use a Huion H610 for a long time, not at the moment, but a lot of the time I use it. When I get the new PC, I'll start using it much more, to be honest. Might get a free pen for under $100. There you go. Yeah, I found I cannot edit photos without a pen tablet anymore. It just doesn't work for me. I just can't do it. I have to have my tablet. All right, I think we're good there. All right, let's save this again. I keep having to save it. I use it as kind of guidelines, especially when I'm stuck on something and I can't get something looking the way I want. I'll use it to kind of get me back on track. And there is a reason for it. But I use it as a guideline more than a rule. Just like the pirate rules are more like guidelines. Save faster. Bum 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 bum. All right, so let's get this converted. So let's flatten. I made a mouse where it detected click pressure. We would do it without a tab, but we just use the soft brush on pressure mode. Yeah. I don't know though. I mean, I like being able to draw. I find my hand movement is easier, and it's somewhat better on your wrists too. I don't know. I don't know if I would, to be honest. All right, let's convert this to sRGB. Then let's take it down to 8-bit. What kind of HD you got? That's the way to save like me. Oh, it's an SSD. It's an SSD that I'm saving to. It's just a big file. It was just a big file. I mean, and I'm working in 16-bit, so you know it was a much larger file. But yeah, it's an SSD. I actually have 3 SSDs in this computer. Alright, so we'll do this one color. I don't need color on the stupid name. We're gonna save it as a JPEG. And then web thumbnail. For Facebook, it should be about 2048. Perfect. Call this thumb for my YouTube video. So I will be I put all my streams on YouTube right now. Obviously, you can watch them back here on Twitch too. I don't know how long it keeps it, but so if you want to watch what I did previously, or you want to go and see how I did something, you can do it. Oh God, no. No, no, don't do that. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. 2.0 is not fast enough. 2.0 is not fast enough. No, I have 3 internal SSDs, and then I have 1 external SSD that is for when I have to be mobile to work on my laptop. All right, well, here's the final image. Man, it's weird only averaging about 1 image every 2, but I'm getting faster. My problem is I don't go in with a game plan, so it just, you know, that just kind of screws everything up. Kind of severely. Oh God, the Verge PC build. Oh God, the Purge PC. Oh yeah, yeah, I saw it. Is there a delicate way to put how much of a shit-tard that video was? My website work. Oh, stuff I build. I need to post that places, don't I, really? I'm not freelance, I work for a company, so you can actually go to tinsleycreative.com. I couldn't think of my company's website for a second. That's actually the company I work for. So if you want to see some of the websites and stuff I build there, I need to set up a separate one to show websites I actually work on myself. But everything right now is through that company. If you want to actually look at websites, you can go to WorldCat. Here, can I post links in my... I should be able to post links in my own chat. Watch my bot kick me from my own channel. Let's see here. This is a website I built. Yeah, I can. Oh no, why is this one taking a minute to load? This was another one I built. And this is one from a different industry that I built. Just to give you a brief. Oh no, Tinsley. Sorry. I'll link it. It's the agency I work for. So you should be able to you can see some of the work I done, and those websites are ones that I personally built myself. Some of the other websites, you know, are collaborations between me and the other designer we have on staff for web. And with both Scout and WorldCat, I've done some editing on their videos too. So some of the videos that you watch there are ones that I've edited. It depends. If it's something that could be more freelance-ish, most of my freelance work starts about 800. If it's agency stuff, like if it's something I would need to bring to my agency, which is like a bigger website where I need to get other developers and stuff involved, it would probably need to be something that would be closer to like a $5,000 site. Yeah, that'd be the easiest way. And then obviously I can feel out if I can actually do what they need or not within, you know, time frames and stuff like that. Because websites don't happen quickly, and yet everyone thinks that someone can build a website in like a week. So, because they think like you just go into Wix or something and just build it out and you're done. A lot of people don't get it. But and worst case scenario, I refer them to someone else because I have a crew of people, of web designers and stuff I've met that like to do extra work also. So, and I would make sure that we got you some kind of referral pushback or something like that. So I make a habit to take care of people that try and take care of me. Sounds good. Oh man, is it really 9:30? I wish I didn't have to work tomorrow. I'd actually start editing another photo. I really need to figure out how to get faster. Oh yeah, no, I always charge half up front. Yeah, I can't believe I always charge half up front. If they can't pay me half up front, they're not someone I want to work with. If they're not willing to invest money, because there's costs in the beginning. Like if I have to buy any extra plugins or anything like that, you just can't. Ooh, I have. Does this work? What happens if I don't know if all my scenes are working. Ooh, nope, that's not the right scene. My chat is not working. That's wonderful. I'm gonna have to play around with OBS. The chat is supposed to be showing up right here in that little chat box in OBS, and it's not. And learning all this stuff is difficult. Hey, that works too. But usually with 50-50, I don't, it doesn't let someone like under the mindset that I'm going to run off with their money. And then I can, you know, kind of, well, we don't need to be on this. I can kind of, what's the word? I can always hold their website until it's done, because I never build on their domain. I always build on my own server, my own hosting account, and then when they're done paying, I make it live on there. So I have full control over their site regardless. Oh, I mean, we had that happen at my normal company about the whole, oh, we gotta wait a little bit, blah blah, and we just hold it. We actually had someone who we literally put their website in a backup and took it fully offline, the dev site and everything, until they paid their bill. So, you know, you do what you gotta do. Who is this? Oh, Call of Duty tournament. I am not good enough yet. All right, S5. I think I'm going to call it for the night. I want to get some Call of Duty time in before I have to go to bed so I can wake up for work in the morning. HTML, does that work? Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it was nice talking to you too. You know, feel free to come back, you know, whenever. I keep my schedule updated as much as I can. Right now, I'm just doing 2 days a week for at least photography stuff, which is Wednesday nights and Sunday morning. That may be changing. I just need the time in between because of projects and stuff like that. And then eventually I may start doing some game streams on off nights, but I have to get my schedule. COVID threw off my whole schedule with everything, and it's just now getting normalized again. So as soon as I'm able to do that, I'm going to try and stream a little bit more. But also, if you have any suggestions for anything or want to see something in particular, eventually I'll get a Discord set up, but you can email me directly if you want to. You know, if you have something that you want to see in any of the streams or anything like that, you can email me at that email address. That email address is only for Twitch stuff, so it's perfectly safe to have anyone email me there. It keeps everything separated so I don't accidentally post real life stuff and whatnot. Not that it cares. My name, you know, Cragor is kind of unique and stuff. So, but yeah. So yeah. Hopefully I'll see you in another stream, and you have a good night and good luck on that image you're working on. And I will, if you're around, I will see you on Sunday.
Start a fight, there you go. I get unstable, I get unstable.